coming in to talk to us about maintaining preventative health efforts during COVID-19 pandemic. On the 16th, we also have the board meeting at 5:30 p.m. at the Inglewood Chamber Community Room, and that's also done on Zoom. So if you're available, please join us for that. On the 23rd, we have Ocean Habitats, and that will be Phil Chichiro will be talking to us about how we can help clean our local waters. So that's going to be a very interesting presentation. I think everybody knows by now, on the 27th and 28th, we have the Fine Arts Festival. There is a sign-up sheet up front. Yeah, this is a big one, guys, because this is kind of the first back, to real life normalcy event. We do have all the safety protocols in place, but please sign up if you can. If you have a couple hours, even if you only have an hour or two to spare, please sign up to help us out. We need to get some of the money back into our coffers. As everybody does. So please, and if you haven't, contact Carol if you have any questions on that as well. You want to talk about the signs?
Yeah. Last year, we had to cancel the show so quickly and people had yard signs. I know I've got one at my house. I know other people probably got some at their house. Brad and I counted the signs in the shed the other day. We only had 4 of the smaller ones and 10 of the big metal ones. So we really are short on signs this year. They're very expensive. So if you have a sign at your house, Alfred just told me he had one. Deb says she has one. I know I've got one. You've got one.
Mine's out.
It can't be out, honey.
Overachiever.
Oh,
It's all your game.
he's gonna screw up everybody. Art show this weekend.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Coming soon.
At your house.
At any rate, if anybody online wants a sign, and I would encourage everybody to get a sign, let me know, please, and I will personally deliver it to your house. I am going to bring in some of the signs next week. I forgot to stop at Castle Air today. They are all at Castle Air. So you can pick one up from Castle Air. I will bring some in next week. But let me know if you're online, if you want a sign, I will bring it to you. Put one up there. But the guys,
The big one?
Brett and JJ are supposed to.
Okay.
Put one up there, and they've got one that I changed the dates on. So I bug them because they got the big one put up
The banner.
at Dearborn,
Right.
and
That's
busy there.
Yeah. Also, if anybody knows of any past members that are no longer with us that may have a sign, kind of mention it to them. I reached out to a few members just to kind of see if they had, and also to ask them if they would like to return and also to volunteer. So if you have any connections with any of our past members, please let them know as well. On the 30th of the month is our 5th Tuesday, so we will have no lunch meeting on that day. We will have an evening social that we're going to do at Boca Royale. You should have seen this come out. It's kind of a meet and greet type of a thing. We'll have just light refreshments, a few nibbles, and we'll also have a short presentation by Boca Cares. So it kind of will serve as a method to get to know what they're doing a little bit better. They want to get to know what we're doing. If there's an opportunity for us to collaborate on some things, I think that would be a fantastic thing. But it's again, if you have any bug pointer. Have anybody that you want to introduce Rotary, bring them along with you. I mean, it's going to be a casual, just a short 1 hour. It's not going to be formal. So just come out and join us and, share the word of Rotary with those folks. Let's see. Also on that note, you also have to RSVP to Christina because she needs to put you on the gate list. So make sure that you either let me know or Christina know so we can get you on that list so you can get in. Also, just as a caveat, the 30th is the also Great American Cleanup Day. So if you have an opportunity and want to do something, you could take a walk and pick up a little trash along your way. It's nothing, that I've organized, but I just thought I'd kind of put that out there.
Clean up our garage.
All right. So general announcements, we already talked about the Fine Arts Festival. We are doing for the month, the rest of the month of March, we are doing a collection for the homeless and the food banks. So if you have any items, cleaning out your pantry, spring cleaning, bring those items in. Brad has made a good connection with the Dollar General in town just across the street. They are gonna be recollecting for us as well. So that's a great partnership that we've created there. They did us for the troops and we were able to get quite a bit of stuff from them. So, and then again, it doesn't have to be anything big, just bring in what you can. I put out a list of food items. I do. So this should have been attached to your emails. It kind of lists out things that are ideas, but you can bring in anything that you want and we will get those to the appropriate places. Also, I announced before that Twig is collecting items. So they are collecting for newborn to teen clothing items, especially pajamas and underclothes, underwear, socks. So if you have any of those items or would like to donate to that, just let me know, bring those items in and I'll get them where they need to be. Also today came up Project Phoenix, as we know, Bobby Sue, most of you know, has passed away. Her daughter is trying to keep some of those programs in Project Phoenix going. So she just announced today that they've always done this big Easter project for the kids in the local community. They are going to proceed with that, but they need donations of Easter candy, the little plastic eggs, toys, baskets, buckets, any of those kinds of things. So if you're interested in doing any of those collections or have any items that might work for them, please, again, let me know, or I'll put you in touch with her daughter and get those items to them. I think that's it's going to be very difficult for them to get through this, but she said absolutely Bobby would want this to go on, and I agree. So you want to participate in that. Okay, so Jenna, would you like to come on up? Yes. Yep.
Rally said two things. One is we can use the office account money. Confirm that so everybody knows.
Okay.
But the second thing is that we can use that parking lot for Rotarian parking if we would like to do that.
Oh, that was expensive.
So we can engineer it in a way that Rotarian parking owners, so we got a place that's sensible and file or even.
When I send out, a couple of days before the show, I always send out the sign up list. Just to remind people, so I will make a note.
What we need
This
to
is
do,
for
you
Rotarians.
you will block the entrance to Rotarian parking only.
Yeah.
That would help.
Good.
Okay.
That would be
And
great.
whoever ordered a cheeseburger, I think she didn't know what that was.
Who
so-
made a cheeseburger? There's a cheeseburger and an open face.
I ordered the open face.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's still more coming, but
And what did you order?
Same thing with
And who ordered a cheeseburger?
Here, you take the open face, I'll take the burger. It don't make me any difference.
Okay, well, while they're doing the food,
all right, so Janet has an announcement for us and then an introduction.
so, we have a new member joining us, not new to Rotary, but her name is Carolyn. She's a retired nursing assistant. She attended the University of Indianapolis and obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree from the Business Indiana Wesleyan University. Hard to say. Carolyn has 15 years of Rotary service. She was president of the Rotary Club of Weston, Florida, 2012 to 13, president-elect 2011 to 2012, vice president 2010, 2011, chair committee service club rep for Weston High School Interact from 2007 to 2010. You've done a lot. Chair Harvest Drive 2007 to 2014, director 2008 to 2014, Rotarian of the Year 2009 to 2010, and she's also a Paul Harris Fellow, sustaining member and benefactor. She served as board chair at Cornerstone United Methodist Church. Recently moved permanently to Inglewood and has a son named Todd. Carolyn enjoys golf, walking, reading, being with family and friends, and of course, Rotary. Please welcome Carolyn Burke to the Rotary Club of Englewood.
So just to make it kind of official. Kind of. Sort of, kind of, sort of. So we have a certificate for you recognizing your official membership in the
Thank
Rotary
you.
Club of Englewood, and we welcome you.
Thank you.
And I encourage everybody to get to know Carolyn a little bit better on a personal note, and because we'll be doing a lot of things together. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. All right, so with that, I also wanted just to mention, yesterday was International Women's Day, so I also wanted to recognize and give thanks to all of our women Rotarians in the room and out there in the world. We don't have any birthdays or anniversaries this week, but I would like to invite Ken to come on up. Sorry, you just got your meal. Ken's going to talk to us and introduce our speaker for today, David Allen, and share with us what they're doing with Water One and the district disaster trailer.
Well, first of all, it's good to see everybody again,
Yes.
and the ones I've never seen before. And we're all surviving. It's been a crazy year for everybody. Water is sort of still my passion. And in this case, I got contacted by David probably almost a year ago about what his club and the clubs are doing to try to look at how we can be better prepared for disasters all throughout our district. It isn't that David will show you in the plan. It wasn't totally water focused, but at the same time, water is a part of being prepared. And so it was really a nice fit for what I do too. I've gotten to know David over that time. I'll read you all the good stuff about him because it's all good, especially from the Rotary end. But David's been married for 41 years. His wife Lori has got 2 great kids. Graduated high school, retired at age 55, which is pretty good. Was a major corn farmer in Illinois, and I know that's still dear to his heart, like my farming is dear to me. He was an IBEW union electrician and worked at a 1,200 megawatt station in Illinois. So he's also managed and developed his own real estate development too. He is a Florida real estate agent. That's a good thing to be right now. He was in the Punta Gorda Rotary for 5 years. He's in the Charlotte Harbor Sunset Rotary for 1 year. He was the Punta Gorda Club's vocational director for 2 years. He's been the coordinator of the Taste of Punta Gorda for the PG Rotary for 2017 and 2018, which is a big deal. Paul Harris Fellow, Punta Gorda Rotarian of the Year in 2017, and a charter member of this Mobile Disaster Response Committee that's going to be there. So beyond all that, I call him Smitty, is just one of the most passionate people about helping people. We met briefly yesterday. We were talking about our gardens. I wanted to come over and help me out. I want to check out my garden, finally see it, because we could be outside. He had to run to be part of vaccination stuff yesterday, helping people out. So that's just, he's got a healthy heart. That's just who he is. Couldn't say enough about Smitty, and I think that the project we're looking at doing is they're really going to be groundbreaking. I was thinking about last night that you think about all those projects, whether it's the wheelchair project or the Hope for Life or whatever. At one point, they didn't exist. It didn't exist. Somebody sort of said, this is a great idea. All of a sudden, kind of becomes, you got to build a template. You got to get over that hurdle of sort of resistance. I don't know if you can do that. Is there a better way to do it? I'm sure that they didn't know anything about all the wheelchair stuff and refinements that they would make going downstream to be able to get things over to Africa. But I think that's where we are in this project. And the beauty of it is, as David will present, it's not just what's going to happen here, but I think it's, when you look, we don't want these disasters to be happening. I wish they would all stop happening. It seems like there's more happening in our lifetime, whether there are or not. but there's enough of them going on that I think, we need to be prepared. Everybody else needs to be prepared, and the more we can be prepared, the more we can take care of those who, by no fault of their own, are harmed when these things come into being. So, without any more words, Linda says hi. Without that,
Tell Linda we all said.
all right. David Smith.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Ken. I gave him the bio and the biography. Like, sometimes when you start writing and you get carried away, it's like, is this my obituary or is this I'm like writing my obituary here, it feels like. But anyway, it's a lot of fun in Rotary, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. I'm only a 6-year, really. I'm just a rookie Rotarian, but we moved down here 8 years ago, and it's been a lot of fun. The art festival is just a great fundraiser, the Fine Arts Festival that you put on. We've been to it twice. We've been down here. We can't make it every year, but we try to. This year it's on our 41st anniversary, so I guarantee you I won't be there this year. We have tickets to the Little River Band at Hertzer Arena. And yeah, there's only one guy left from the original. It was one of our favorites. So we are going to our first concert in a year.
You're allowed.
So we will be spending the night in Fort Myers. Because every time I leave a concert, I should probably be drug tested again. So but these are new days. And it's a lot of fun in Rotary. It's a lot of giving back. It's a lot of service, and we do a lot of things away from the community. We, like Ken said, the wheelchair project, the water projects that we do in Mozambique and hand wash and Haiti and all those things. And sometimes maybe we just think about more about ourselves sometimes. So we came up with this project about. It was born in Irma, because the black line was coming right through us in Irma. And we thought category 5, this is the one that's going to flood us. This is the one that turned at the last minute, went up through Bonita and lost its strength. And we went down there and volunteered with USA Disaster Aid. I don't know if anybody's familiar with those folks. They were down there helping Sandra, helping with the cleanup and doing rehabs by the Imperial River. So we got to really get a taste firsthand of what it's like when you have 4 foot of water in your house and there's not much help, and there's times that you just need people to be there. We came up with the idea of the mobile district disaster response team, and I want you to understand we're not first responders. That's always been a question I got. First responders, we are retired, and we are, I'm not running any 20-inch chainsaws and cutting down oak trees with, but that's, if you want to do that, I'm sure we can get a place for you to do those things. We are kind of bringing in our crew and bringing in our people to help with the people that are there, the Rotarians first. That's why all the clubs are involved in supporting this. Everybody's got a little skin in the game, and everybody will be able to use it. So I want to thank you all for that. It's just a short PowerPoint. Let's go through the PowerPoint quickly, because you know how PowerPoints go, and I don't want anybody to fall asleep in their meal while I do a PowerPoint presentation. But we'll go through it if you'll click with me on it. Are there Zoom people out there?
Yeah, there are. I just have to minimize so we.
Okay. So I'm going to just point at the screen. I got my little laser pointer, and I haven't done anything illegal with it. So
Yeah.
that's been in the news lately. I noticed. I'm still trying to figure out how that works, but I'm not. So if you go to the first slide, we'll kind of see that we're the Sunset Club's a new club, and we don't have a lot of money, but we got great ideas, and we're a service club. So we go and we do service projects, and this came along. We built it. It will be centered in Charlotte County. All 5 trailers will be at the county. It's county maintenance property inside a secure area. We work with the county on that. So when you see that, that's and it's going to cover everyone from Naples to Florida, Naples to Tampa. Locally kept here because it's a good place to keep it in the center. We just happen to be in that center. So that the utility needs are right there. It says right on there, you know, we've got it all in this area. So what are we about? It's about all the counties. It's about 2.5 million people. And obviously we can't have a response team big enough to come in with semi trucks and do what needs to be done. But we can do our part as Rotarians to help. So that's what we'll be doing. And the funding, we got a grant from the district for, if you go to the next slide and the next slide
That's one after.
and one more. So it's the funding part for, and we're gonna have the trailers wrapped like you see there. We got $130,000, 50,000 from the district, 50,000 we're raising, and 30,000 that we've dreamed about. And then along comes COVID, and along comes everybody's fundraisers, and it's really been a tough year to raise money for a project like this. But I got to tell you, we got 24, 25 out of the 52 clubs that stepped up. We are $4,000 away from reaching our $50,000 goal, which will release the $50,000 from the district. So that's how close we are right now, and I believe we're going to get it. If we don't get it from the clubs, we're going to, individual Rotarians are talking about donating and those types of things. Like Ken's donated 500 for you guys, and if you guys matched his 500, then that makes it another 1,000. So it's a little bit at a time, and it's going to keep perpetuating as it goes on. It's not fundraising one year and then that's it. Here it is. How do you keep perpetuating? Well, that's kind of our job and the district's job. We're going to ask that clubs raise one small fundraiser a year for $500 or something, where that would go to support this group and keep the disaster funding with it. So what does it consist of? In the next slide, please. So what does it consist of? 2 trailers, 18-foot, and it'll have wheelbarrows and PPE stuff. You know, all kinds of things will be in those trailers. Ace Hardware, Sunshine Ace, Tom Brown has agreed to give us everything it costs, and there'll be a bridal registry gift list, kind of like a gift list, like you'd see with a bridal registry, where Rotarians can go on that site and you can buy 2 wheelbarrows and donate it to the project, and that money will be through the nonprofit. It'll go towards the grant. That's one thing that you'll see coming up down the road. It's going to have a reverse osmosis trailer. It's equipped for 10,000 gallons a day of brackish water, or 20,000 gallons a day of fresh water. Now this is where Ken comes in with Water One. About those trailers, about this trailer. This trailer is so important to our project. Ken's gave us the bottom line price. But this trailer, you can throw it in a swimming pool and get 10,000 gallons of fresh water. You can,
Swimming pool.
yeah, 20,000 would be 20,000. You can throw it in a brackish canal, you can make 10,000 a day. And when I look at hurricanes, when I look at one of my pet peeves is plastic bottles. I hate plastic bottles. I hate them so bad. I bought a reverse osmosis in my whole house, and I drink out of stainless steel bottle. I've set mine down somewhere already. But anyway, they are just so bad. When you see 1 million bottles go up to Hurricane Michael, when you see 2 million bottles being donated to Houston, when you see 1 million bottles or 2 million went to on Hurricane Irma, those have to go in the landfill sooner or later. Now, my brother-in-law works at the landfill waste management. He said they're a nightmare. Once you crush them and smash them, they become floaters, and they'll still float. They still keep coming up, and they're the ones that filter out. Pretty soon there's a layer of them with the crusher that they can't crush. They have to scrape them off, dig a big hole. They are a nightmare. And it's one of my pet peeves. That's what this trailer will replace, hopefully. Get fresh water, at least replace some. And by the way, these right here, you've seen this Pure to Go personalized water system where it makes 300 gallons and keep these in your house. keep 2 of them in your house, in an emergency, you got them, use them, you got the water. This is,
Just to say, this club helped send
yes.
4,800 down to Puerto Rico.
And I was involved in that with donating from our club, and it went Rotary to Rotary. Because there are times, you know, when the government takes stuff and then the people never see it. That's a real deal. Happened. I was just on a Zoom with Mike Hansdale, K9 Search, Peace River Search and Rescue. Are you guys familiar with Mike? I was on his Zoom meeting. Did anybody have a chance to look at that? That was through, I think that was through CERT. And I'll get on to that in a little bit. So let's move along with this PowerPoint to the next one. That's kind of the equipment. And these are the things that we're going to put in these trailers, the wet and dry vac, you know, things that everybody kind of knows. You've been through these. Go to the next slide, please. And this one here is pretty cool. We come up with this idea. We asked EMS, we asked Charlotte County, and we asked Lee County, what do you miss? What's the biggest deal? There's no toilets. All toilets are blown away or they're broke down. But they got plenty of trucks to clean them, but the toilets may be gone. So maybe they can't get them. So we thought this would be cool. A toilet trailer, sanitation trailer with 2 laundry in it, 2 wet showers on the outside. You come through this thing, you've been working, you go in your shower, you jump your dirty clothes off, put them in a bag, leave them there. Or you want to do your laundry, you want to spend the night. There's going to be one of those trailers, are going to be air conditioned, the utility trailers with bunks. Be somebody there will be secured and stuff. You can spend the night. This is a pretty cool deal. 3 toilets in there and a laundry room on the sanitation trailer. So if you flip to the next slide, it's going to show the laundry trailer, but we added that on to the sanitation trailer because it was cheaper to have to have all the plumbing and everything on one trailer. Go to the next slide, please. This is the water trailer. This is what it's going to look like. And you can see anybody can pull it around. And let's just get into the training part. Who's going to run this thing? Who's going to do all this work? My gosh, you know. Well, yeah, Ken can do it. I think what we see when we talk about service needs for this, the people that are going to do these things, that we see some kind of outline that comes down from the district disaster committee. Maybe one of our people from our committee, steering committee, sits on that board. And these are just my ideas. This isn't in stone. It's going to come down the road. But there'll be some kind of outline where either maybe the area governors or maybe the presidents will all contact the steering committee, and then they'll have 2 or 3 people that we would like to have each club have 2 people trained with CERT. Everybody know who CERT is? Yeah. So CERT is near and dear to my heart too. That's who I trained with, and that's who I was volunteering with the vaccine stuff. And if we can get a couple of guys, a couple of women, a couple of men trained in basic training with CERT, then they can triage, they can mark buildings, they know how to search and rescue, we know how to crib, we know how to go in buildings safely, we know how to work together and not get hurt. So that's part of the training. I'm not saying everybody's got to do that. Somebody has to sit and sign people in and volunteer if they can. Some people have. There's always fellowship. Who's going to bring the sodas and meals and all that fellowship going on? Can we make it comfortable for ourselves? Use the restroom somewhere, shower off after a hot day. It's our stuff. It's Rotarians. I think it's the coolest stuff. Oh, that's just me. All right, move along to the next one, please. So how can you help? Well, you know, I'd like to see every club give $1,500, 52 clubs, $50,000. Bam, we're in there just like that. I would have loved to have seen that, but we didn't see that. We've seen some no's. We've seen some, we don't need it. We don't need you guys. Don't worry about it. We're fine. We got this. And that's okay. We're still coming. We're still going to build this. Even if you said no, like some clubs did, because maybe the fundraising wasn't there. Maybe they didn't have the money. We don't, that's okay. We're Rotarians. I'm not here to knock those clubs, any club. We're still going to raise that money as hard as we can to get this matching. We're still coming to help. You have problems. Mockley, Arcadia, Lakewood, Bradenton. We don't care, really. We're Rotarians. So that's what I say about that. Boots on the ground. That's us. We're boots on the ground people. We like to work. We like to do it. We like to fundraise. It'll come back. Next slide. So this is just this. Remember this PowerPoint was made 8 months ago. So a lot of this stuff we've already covered. We're already through it, and you know we could move on to the next slide. Your commitment, right there. The 4-way test is on there. I believe that we have $500 from your club to match Ken, if I'm right.
Here's the first 100.
And and that's what we do as Rotarians.
What we wanted to do is, we asked that David and Ken come in and explain this a little bit better to you today.
I hope I did that in a way.
But what Ken so generously mentioned is that him and Linda, he sent me a message and he said, look, this is very important to me and dear to my heart. He said, so I would like to put out a challenge to you and your club, so that he would match $500 of our money, up to $500. So we decided we would bring it to, I said, Ken, that's great. Let's bring it to the club. Let's present, let's get the information out there. We as a club have committed that we will fill in up to that amount as well. So we made the decision to support them with $1,000. $500 is coming from Ken and the rest of it's going to come from us. So thank you, Karen, for stepping up and putting that in. Yes, ma'am.
Here's another 100.
Awesome.
I think
Thank
that
you,
you guys
thank you.
are the greatest.
So
And I
again,
think,
$10, $20, whatever you want to put in, whatever you feel comfortable with is fine. We just wanted to achieve this goal, to participate with this project. And as we said, funding is a big issue. And when we first talked about this at the beginning of the year, and the board said, we don't really have enough money, Harley, to continue to manage our day-to-day operations, much less write a check for something that wasn't in our budget. So we tabled it, and I communicated that it was tabled. Awesome. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you. You guys are so good.
So we tabled it to come back and circle back and review this again at a later date. So here we are doing that today. And I thank you guys for stepping up to do that. And if there's any questions, either for either one of these guys on how this runs and how this works, go ahead.
Excuse me?
Who's using this facility? When is it like the point to use it? How are people know to use it?
That's a great question. Our steering committee will be put together when the funding and the grant is approved. There'll be a steering committee. The people that support the disaster response team will have a say in who's on that committee. We'll have the presidents who all talk with one another and the HEs and appoint that. And then the way it gets deployed will become probably it's my guess, okay, is that district disaster. Is everybody familiar with the district disaster committee, the new committee that was formed this year? And then they asked the presidents to name a couple of people to get all the phone numbers for the people. So that's kind of a start of what you're going to see. We're going to have a phone tree, and phones don't work. So satellite phones, CERT people like me, and I brought my shirt because it's so very important. We are able to go to the EOC building and be on the call center. Like at Irma, I spent 3 days in the call center calling the disabled people and letting them know, getting that, do you need a ride? Where's your address? If you need to evacuate. We had a phone tree. This county is unbelievable. For this vaccine thing, we went in and searched people and called people elderly that were disabled. And whenever they ran out of vaccine at the end of the day, they always got that little bit left. They had a list of shut-ins, and the EMS people took that vaccine to their house to give them a shot. I don't know if everybody was aware of that or not, but that's what CERT does, those kinds of things. So I'd like to see, I'm not here to sell CERT, believe me, I'm not. Citizens Emergency Response. But women and men are on this team. And you don't have to be a super muscle guy to do the things that need to be done. These things can be done, and this is so good. what we see here and what if you can get any more money, we need another 3,000 now. I'm just here to ask for money, you know that, right? I'm a Rotarian. What am I supposed to be doing? But anyway, I make jokes about that, but
Well, to kind of
what
circle
what
back
you
to your question,
Yeah.
initially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understood of it was, it would be for the district use.
Mhm.
Okay, now take that a step further, and probably this is a step down the line, but if, Louisiana has another natural disaster and they need our resources, we wouldn't be coming in, we would be coming in following like Salvation Army and those types of things, but there's nothing that says that as a district, we could say, look, they need our help, they need our equipment. How can we make that happen? And you get people to volunteer and you mobilize it in other areas. But the initial thought process was for our district to provide those services. And it, like you said, it's from Tampa to Naples. So if a storm comes in any of those areas, we have the ability to move that equipment back and forth. I don't know if many of you probably remember, back when Charlie came through and how long it was before we had services and repairs and things made. And you have all the volunteers that come in from all these organizations, Salvation Army, so they need facilities, they need toilets, they need showers, just as much as the general public does. So it kind of serves a couple of different needs. It's the beginning steps, and
That's whether it's for just like the population use or whether it's a mix.
it would be a little bit of both.
Interesting, my brother's church.
Hi, President.
Like
Just a second, Ken.
sorry.
No, other Ken, sorry.
So, he was sort of like emergency response team were going in as medical. And they went into Andrew and he said there was nothing.
Yeah.
He said it was just like toothpicks on the ground, and people were walking around like zombies. And the ability for them just to mobilize a center, have this sort of center of the new world, if you will, that was there, was so important because it wasn't just the care they were giving, it was a psychological thing. Okay, somebody's here, we're going to build out from here. And then the other point was that for me, the fall storm we had this year was a wake-up call because we've dodged the Irma and the one before that, where we were waiting for it to go up the Gulf all the way to Tampa and go in, and never did. It came, we were sort of on the clean side. I can't imagine, but if we are on the dirty side, with something of the magnitude of Irma, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the water was at the top of my seawall when that one went by. It's 100 miles offshore on the dirty side. So there's no argument about if we need it. It's when we're going to need it. And are we going to be prepared?
Right.
And can we start this process, get this stuff? We're 7, 8 weeks out to get a trailer delivered. We want to order April 1st. We're so close to having that money there to get there to be able to order this stuff. And we're really close. But yes, it goes to the district and it comes to us, but we are not first responders. I was talking about Mike Hansdale in that video. If you can get on YouTube and watch it, about what was going on over in Abaco. Now that's a whole 22-foot of storm surge. 2,000 people died. It sat there for a day. We couldn't even get in there. Agape was trying to fly. They wouldn't even land. We couldn't get, all we did was send Barry $10,000 and say, Barry, can you do what you can do over in Nassau?
Right.
Because you couldn't even get to that island. Now that's an Andrew sitting over Abaco, basically. And now there's gunfire between the Haitians and the Bahamians, and they're trying to search with dogs. And there was that. Then you had that social break there between Mud City and Abaco, where they had a personal problem. So, those things. That's another country. But don't think it can't come here and go, hey, this is our area. We're doing fine. I hate to say that could happen. But at least there would be Rotarians that said, look, we're Rotarians and we're here to help. We're here to help you. This is our center of build out right
Ken, did you have a question on Zoom?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I will donate $1,000 to match the $1,000 you just raised.
Wow. Thank you, Ken. That's
now.
great.
Who is that?
That's Ken Brennan.
Ken Brennan?
Yep.
Ken, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are the things, and that's what we're good, and we haven't went that route yet, and surely we accept that for sure, we do. And that's where we're headed next, to individual Rotarians for the next, we're so close to the 100,000. We just need 30 more. We're starting to pare back some of our buying in April, but we think that it's going to be built out, and that sanitation trailer can be sitting at the art festival for you guys to use. You know what I mean? And we can rent that out to other Rotary clubs around the district and bring in, we thought that would perpetuate some funding for to keep it up. So let's say Taste of Cape Coral has a party. Hey, you need the Rotary trailer? What do you usually pay for porta potty rental?
Exactly.
Well, we got, yeah, right. So we bring it in and well, you're gonna pay the $750 anyway, right? Why not give it to Rotary instead of, you know what I'm saying? And then, so yeah, we kind of looked at that. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope I didn't bore you with it.
No, David, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And we'll circle back with all the funds that we collect. And
Please get a hold of
get
Tom Setchell and Randy
Absolutely.
with that.
This cash
Absolutely.
goes.
Yeah.
I guess gotta go into club money, right?
What's this?
That goes.
And then I'll collect, yep,
So I
collect the
just.
rest of that. Thank you, everybody. I
I
appreciate
wanna
that.
thank
Big
Ken, that's
donation.
so inspirational. So if the club was still willing to put in 500 and there's 300 raised the day before Ken, Linda and I'll match that 800. So that would be $2,600. Club's willing to put the other.
Okay,
500.
okay.
Fair.
Absolutely. And then thank you for bringing the challenge to us, because that kind of spurred it, to, put it back on the plate and,
I
bring it to
think-
fruition for you.
And do we just write the check to the club so you can put it in as club money?
That
Yeah,
goes donation. She's watching the ping pong balls.
Really gonna be a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud to be part of Rotary doing it.
So what many of you don't know is Ken and I had a conversation, year and a half ago, roughly, as I was prepping as incoming president, and I had a project that I wanted to do kind of centered around the same philosophy on a smaller scale. I still haven't let go, and it's going to circle back, and it's probably going to partner really well with what these guys are doing in the future. So it's when you think about, a lot of times we see what happens overseas, and we don't really think about what happens right here. And one of these, I've been through the Panhandle a couple of times since some of those storms, and they're still recovering. They're still not, don't have habitable structures. There's a lot of moving parts that has to happen, and it takes a long time.
Talking about Michael, I'm a CERT team member. We mobilized at 5:30 in the morning to go up and help them. Got on I-10. They wouldn't let us in. It was too bad. We couldn't get in. So we had to turn around and come back home, even though, now think about that for a second. We can't get in. We're county. We're Charlotte County coming to help. But we can't get in because it's long. So you take that and you say, well, we've got the trailer sitting here in the county already, ready to go. If it would happen to happen here and the interstate shut off from both directions, right? Guess what? We've got our stuff here.
Right.
And maybe we can get, bulldozers and county chainsaws to get it out of the place and get it going. Just, things change. It's just such a dynamic situation. And then it all caught on fire in Abaco after about 2 months. Naturally just started igniting everywhere.
Yeah, it's tragic stuff. So, and we all know that it happens, and it's continuing to happen. And it's not necessarily just, like we said, just hurricanes. It could be for anything. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. So happy dollars, sad dollars. Did everybody spend all their dollars?
So I have happy dollar. Let me do my sad dollar first.
Okay.
I have a really good customer. I sold their house, and then they bought a house in Somerville. And he has RA, rheumatoid arthritis, and now he is
actually in the hospital waiting to get on the lung transplant list. So I've never had children and they're the sweetest people in the world. They just need a lot of prayer. So if anybody has one left in them, say a prayer for them. And a happy dollar is Carolyn.
Yay!
Yes. So excited.
That is happy. Anybody else? Ed?
Got a surprise dollar and a happy dollar. Kind of offered this. I signed up for the Florida vaccine thing, state figured. So everything gets a wall, maybe like spaghetti, something works. So I totally forgot about it.
Oh, very good.
That's a happy dollar.
Yay.
I can't complain about the whole state. Our county, amazing.
First of all, I'm really happy. Faces I haven't seen for a while. You guys are.
And we're working on getting them back, by the way.
We were trying so hard to get on the public's website and all these computers open in the morning, everything. My kids up in Michigan, they had their phones and everything open. They called on the phone and said, "We're on." I said, "Well, get mom first." And so they put in all Linda's information. They said, "Anybody else in your family?" And we said, "Yeah, we're both there." So we both got our second shot last week.
Oh, nice.
And I'm just lastly happy about generosity of what everybody did today. This trailer, I think it's just amazing, and you're gonna, when it does get mobilized, everybody's gonna put that in their heart. Taking care of things. I'm happy that David's here. I have another dollar. That's.
Carolyn.
Every time
My happy dollar is thank you for bringing me into the club. I am looking forward to this. I also got my second vaccine
Very
down
good.
in Charlotte County last week, and as sort of a happy sad dollar, my nephew is having a brain tumor and is having surgery. So
Prayers.
what's his name, Carolyn? His name is Brian. Okay. Sloper. Brian and Heather.
Brenda.
I have a couple happy dollars. I'm happy, obviously, to be vaccine-free and out of my world.
We're happy back.
Yes, it's been a year, so. And I'm also very happy that our residents now leave the community and not have to be quarantined when they come back, because everybody's vaccinated. So,
Nice. Very good. Awesome.
I've got a couple of happy dollars. One for the great generosity of the Englewood Rotary Club. I've only spoken to 5 clubs, and I haven't got turned down yet. So everybody's giving money when I've come to speak. So I don't know if I should be a reverend or I should stay up. I haven't decided yet. But
Maybe both.
anyway, I got $5 for that. And
Awesome.
I
Thank
also
you.
Looking at your deck, I don't know if the clerical collar big enough.
Oh, that's what my daughter tells me all the time. She sends me these big head photos, these cartoons of guys' heads so big they can't fall over. I told her that's my neck holding the brains. Anyway, $5 for that, and $5 for our anniversary coming up, 41 years. My wife, she's saying, looking up with me, but
Happy anniversary.
she seems to be hanging around. I can't.
Wonderful. Anybody else got anything to share? Jennifer. Okay.
Happy dollar to spring break next week. Going to Michigan.
All right.
That's where everybody goes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around.
It's probably safer.
Beach and Michigan.
No, actually, we're gonna lockdown.
Oh, okay.
And another happy dollar is my son is joining the Marine.
Yay.
All right.
Awesome.
So,
Tracy.
yeah, my happy dollar is for, in April is Earth Day, and our district is putting together the hashtag Green Rotaract and hashtag Green Rotary. Linda's going to start me promoting, but I have already gotten one step. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, the England Fire Department went out, I believe it was yesterday, to start cleaning the gutters around the Veterans Park. Well, yes, so for next year, one of our service projects is quarterly cleanup there, but it is severely overgrown.
Yeah.
So they've already started the first step. And then I'd like to try to, I know it's on a Thursday though, maybe organize a little bit of a cleanup out there. So we kind of get that ball rolling. I've also asked Brian Phillips from Phillips Landscaping to see if they would come out and some of their crew to kind of help us as well. So Thursday, they're supposed to be calling us back. Hopefully, and I think whatever Earth Day, 22nd of April or 20th of April, one of the.
The trailer bid we got was from the local trailer.
Tomorrow's, yeah.
He's
He's a good
He's
guy.
got the bid on the trailer. Annotation trailer, you know.
Doing your wrap.
The wrap. Haven't got that.
Okay.
Haven't got that.
Anybody else? I have one. I just am thrilled. I know it's been challenging, and we've been kind of back and forth with this arts festival. I know everybody is still a little iffy and, you know, but we're doing everything that we can to make sure that everybody's safe, and we can still do this. The county's approval was a godsend. So again, I think thank everybody for pitching in and signing up to volunteer for that event. It's been a great one.
Couple of notes. Carol, you know, I kind of set the expectation. I went to every single business on your board.
And I will use parking.
And another note, I think.
Yes.
And they are.
Yes.
Apparently they have a pallet.
You got all you need.
For those of you who don't know, we've got to have 66 homes going right down the middle of Dearborn Street. People going one way, and the other way, the other. So, and Blaze is donating all of the pipes to go.
We got it yesterday, by the way.
And the tape that goes around it.
Yeah.
So this is a real key in this. We have to do. Get the permit.
That's right.
Thank you.
And we're actually, you know, hopefully everything goes as planned. You know, this is the first time that Dearborn Street is closing since, you know, COVID arrived. So
They're very excited to have it closed.
So it's a good thing. I know it's been rough for a lot of people. So just hang in there. We'll get through it. But thank you, everybody, for doing your part. Okay. I don't think did we have any 50-50 today?
Yes.
Somebody.
Yes. Somebody bought tickets.
Janet bought a lucky 24.
Oh, all right. So we got $10. Right? Well, I'm gonna let you draw the next All right. 192-704.
There you go.
All right, Brenda's donating it back to the disaster
All
fund.
right.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you. All right, so thank you, everybody, again. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? Any other announcements? Nothing else to add. All right. Then we are good to go. I'm gonna pick on Janet again. Do you want to read us out with the four-way test?
Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, the four-way test. First, is that your?
Thank you. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you. Hope I didn't blah, blah, blah.
No, you're fine. Fine.
I didn't really have a script to go by. I hadn't done my-
You're fine. I'm certified as well.
Yeah, you know, I'm good. Are you in Sarasota County or
I am in.
Hey, Deb,
But
Yes, Ken.
Okay, should I just send that money to the club?
Yes. Yeah, we'll make it a donation from the club and then the other Ken's gonna match that. So,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate that.
My wife hasn't done it because she hasn't had time to go for 3 day basic cert training. So she would go through all the rest. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I. And this-
Well, it makes you a lot better, you know, even if you don't participate, you get your appreciation.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. I really got, I went to a weather program that Rob went on at the DOC, and he explained why we're so suspect to storm surge. Because we're so shallow, and it goes out so far. Our east coast is really deep. Since it's so shallow here,
That's great.
there's waves that are chance to mitigate build and high water will be easier. Welcome to Rotary. Are you retired?
Yes.
Oh, my son was there.
Oh, he does? Okay.
I spent most of my adult life.
They'll be there. But I spent 6 years in like. My husband is the time. And I work with the Experimental Aircraft Association. And, oh, it was a lot of fun. But, and then he passed away, and I was back in Indiana for a while. And then moved to Lauderdale.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes, very different.
A lot faster pace over here.
Yeah, you know, having me just from